Hi everyone, this is Stephen and it's the 1st of March 2017 today, and if you're anything like me, you've already typed 29th of February a few times today. We're rapidly approaching the end of Q1 and we've had a huge start to the year here at Flowixo. Everyone wants to talk to us about a chatbot, and rightly so. I think they're definitely the business technology to adopt in 2017. Today I'm going to show you how to create your very own chatbot. Get it in place and let it help you make more sales and cut down on customer service people hours in the remaining weeks of this quarter and beyond. So, an official welcome to Flowixo's Getting Started webcast, where we'll get you up and running with Flowixo with an introduction to its key features and benefits, specifically in relation to its broadcast service for marketing, its messaging service for contacting human agents in real time. That one's really important. Human augmenting your bot for maximum effectiveness, and how to collect data through a conversational form. We'll be looking at launching a bot on Facebook Messenger primarily, but then also launching access to the same bot as a custom widget on your website, as well as providing a full-fledged web messenger directly embedded in your own website or landing page. You'll see that the core strength of Flowixo is our cross-platform focus, which the web messenger is an extension of. Build a bot once and have it present everywhere. If there's anything specific you'd like to see today, just get into the live chat now or drop a note into our community later. If you haven't been there yet, I'll give you some links for that at the end. Just having a look in live chat, see if anybody's talking to us. Do drop us some comments in there. Okay, by this point, you'll have signed up for a Flowixo account and connected your messenger bot. Let us know if you're having any trouble with that, either right now in live chat or pass a note into our community. A quick reminder first, what is Flowixo? Well, first of all, it's the future of business messaging, and you know that's true because it says it right there over my shoulder. In more direct terms, Flowixo is a complete platform for building, hosting, and managing chatbots for messaging platforms such as Messenger, Slack, and Telegram. It includes a visual editor to build bots without code. Everything is driven by a set of flows which you build out with certain tasks. You can create and distribute your own bots, which are owned and branded by you, but controlled and hosted by Flowixo. Again, I'm running this cast live so that I can maximize your time and find everything you need to get started right in this session. Let us solve any queries or give any guidance you need right away. Again, just to reiterate, there's live chat, so by all means get talking to the team and I over on the right of the YouTube window. Down to business, let's get onto our desktop. My example business for today is the mortgage store, who are the home of the mortgage bot. The mortgage store is a typical mortgage broker who are regulated to advise customers on mortgage loans, and they have this Facebook page in place. They have a range of products available: first-time buyer, remortgage, buy-to-let or second home mortgages. Just a little bit more context. The mortgage store simply wants to communicate with customers better, provide a more engaging experience, divert basic queries away from the resource-intensive phone line, and ultimately write more business. If you got my email, you should have a bot in place by now, a messenger open and ready to go, as well as Google Sheets, Gmail, and of course Flowixo. We'll take a closer look at that setup in a few minutes, but first, let's dive right in and take a look at our bot in action. We're going to launch him here in Facebook Messenger. But later you'll see how easy it is to launch a Flowixo bot on any of the platforms we support. Flowixo is platform agnostic, and it's going to be easily accessible from your own web page, either as a widget, directing out to Messenger again, or as a full-fledged web messenger embedded in your site. So let's hit messages here. And I'm going to click Get Started, which passes the start keyword. And you're going to see that this gives us a trigger to welcome new first-time customers, because this is our first visit. And you can see that right away he's trying to get us on track by giving us some option buttons. He's trying to fulfill his purpose and direct customers to the things that he can help them with. However, it's important that he can handle some basic conversation. So let's say hello. And you can see he answers that, but he wants to get right to the point again. He's greeted us, but he wants to get right to the point and divert us into that menu there. These are the things that he can handle, and he's eager to get on with those. But I'm more interested as the customer if he knows his name. I'm going to be mischievous and type in a question rather than click for the menu that he's offered. Okay, you can see you can easily counter that too. And he's constantly directing us back into the bot's purpose here through the menu, which is the whole point of having the bot out there. It's really easy to set up this basic conversational small talk and capture any and all things that are thrown at the bot. We'll look at some flows in a moment so you can see how easy it was to put this together. Just a final try here to stress the point. Okay, so that's well handled again. We're not here to mess around, we're here to do business. So let's get on with it and click for the menu. So let's put ourselves into the shoes of the customer visiting the mortgage bot at the mortgage store. And let's assume that I'm in Messenger and I want an update on my mortgage inquiry. Whilst case updates could in fact be handled by the bot, I'm more interested in what the human broker has to say. I'm desperate to complete on my mortgage deal. So I'm going to choose Talk to a Human, which is offered here. And unfortunately, we've run into a bit of a problem. We've returned some standard small talk helper text. Unfortunately, that flow isn't in place yet, so let's look at resolving that. We'll go over to Flow XO, and here we are at the Flow dashboard. Just a quick shout out to what's going on over here on the left. There's a referral link down here, and if you encourage your friends to use the platform via social media, you can earn rewards in the way of extra interactions and bots or flows. You can see here that I've arranged my flows into folders, which is great for managing what the bot does and tweaking functionality, or for organising flows for different events or customers. Now let's look at how easy it is to resolve our issue, speaking to a human agent. I'm going to choose New Flow, and we want to message a human. We'll turn this flow on, and just looking down the list we can see here this is the action we need to edit because we've got a problem with missing outputs. I'm told what I need to amend. It's the email address that I want to send my message to. And that's all we needed to amend. So we're going to trigger when a user wants to talk to a human. We're going to send a message back. We're going to collect the user's message, send a message over to our help desk, and send a confirmation message to the user. Let's do that now. This time when I select talk to a human, we'll see the flow run. And you can see here they'll be told that a human agent is going to get back to us in a few working hours. In the meantime, I can send another message. Over in Gmail, you can see here I've received a message. This is the message from the customer. So you can imagine I'm a support agent at the mortgage store here receiving this message. I can hit reply. And send, and that message will now be routed directly back into Messenger into the customer's conversation. So I've used Gmail there, but importantly I could have used Freshdesk, SalesforceDesk.com, Help Scout, Zendesk, any support or ticketing software where I can route emails and I can maintain the conversation in the Messenger channel with the customer on the front end. So you can see that just in a few minutes, minus my elaboration, we've got a fully human augmented bot in place by use of one of those Flow XO templates. There's lots of templates here to explore, and we'll look at least one more in this cast. Okay, so we're told it's going to be a few minutes. Back in our context, let's imagine now that I want to make sure as the customer that I've made the best choice before I commit to a deal. Let's get another quote and stay on top of the market. Just ask for the menu, and this time I'm going to choose Get a Quote. And unfortunately we've run into the same issue, so we need to resolve this again in Flow XO. The difference this time is that we're going to build this flow out together so you can see how easy it is to construct your own flows. Over in my forms folder here, because we're going to essentially construct a conversational form, I have this rough template in place. I can turn it on, and you can see here we're just going to trigger on the keyword quote. First, we'll send a message back to the customer just to keep the interaction engaging. Then we'll ask a question. And I'm going to use a FlowXO output here for the first time. So I just need to select the little FlowXO icon, and I'm going to repeat the user's name back to them. So Facebook gives us this name in a list of outputs, and these are the other outputs that I get from that Facebook trigger of a message. And I'm going to ask for an email. We'll validate this answer that we get back as an email address to make sure we get something sensible. Next, we'll ask another question. So you can imagine I'm building my conversational form here. I'm building my form fields. This time I'm going to ask for a cell phone number. I'm going to ask one further question. This one's a little bit more sensitive, so I'm just going to use some pre-prepared text here. We're going to ask for a salary and just put a little emoji in place just to make it a bit more friendly. We'll validate the response as an integer so we know we get a number back. Next in this flow, I'm going to use a FlowXO helper task. I'm going to use the number service, and I'm going to get it to perform a calculation for me. The expression is going to be the answer to the last question, which was what is your salary? And I'm going to multiply that by 4.5 times, which is a typical mortgage lending criteria. Again, important to keep the conversation engaging. So at this stage, I'm going to send a message directly back to the customer. Some pre-prepared text again here. You can see that what I want to do is respond to the customer and give them an indication of what I can lend them. So I'm going to take the result of the calculation that we performed from the outputs. Next, two slightly more exciting things, two more exciting actions. First of all, I'm going to log this customer into Google Sheets. I'm going to add a row to my Google Sheet. Let's just take a quick look at that spreadsheet. You can see I've got name, email, mobile, salary, and mortgage amount. So these are the questions that we're asking. Name was given to us by Facebook, and we calculated the mortgage amount. We've just got one row of data in here already. Over in FlowXO, when I select that spreadsheet, you can see that helpfully those column names are returned to me, and all I need to do is use the FlowXO outputs to put the right answer or the right bit of data in the right place in my sheet. The name came from Facebook, the email was the answer to our first question, mobile number was the answer to our second question, salary the answer to our third question, and the mortgage amount was the result of our calculation. Lastly, in this flow, I'm then going to take advantage of the messaging service again. Really powerful, this messaging service. It's really going to transform your bot. Two things I'd just like to point out at this stage. First is a VentureBeat article that came out just before Christmas, which was entitled Why Your Next Chatbot Should Be Human Augmented, Not AI Augmented. I'll share some links with that for you. Well worth a read. And also our MD, our Managing Director John, wrote up this article on our blog, Implementing Human Takeover in FlowXO. Human augmenting your bot is the simplest and most powerful way, FlowXO, of really making it a value add tool. So we're going to use it here. We'll send a message to email. We can imagine that this, again, could be to salesforcedesk.com, to Zendesk, to Help Desk. We're going to route it to the same email at Gmail here, but in real life, the mortgage store would probably route these hot leads through to a sales agent rather than a support agent who can act on this new quote right away and try and close the deal. Again, just a little bit of pre-prepared text. We want the user's name, so we can address that person directly if we want to, and the mortgage amount, which was the result of our calculation. Just make sure this workflow is turned on over in Messenger. This time when we ask to get a quote, we'll be taken through our conversational form. We'll give our salary, and you can see here I've got a calculation back of what I might be able to borrow, and I'm told that somebody will be in touch in a few minutes. Let's check over in Gmail. We've now got that email through to our sales agent, routed through to our sales agent. I can reply. And over in my Google Sheet, you can see I've captured all of the details that were submitted through that conversational form. So you can imagine that this Google Sheet is a proxy for my CRM system. For any database, anywhere that I'm storing leads and storing data right away, it's likely that FlowXO already has a service integration to allow you to go and capture the details provided through that conversational form directly into your CRM or database. The Google Sheet here is just a proxy for something a little bit more robust that you're probably already using. Okay, back to our scenario. We'll ask for the menu again. Now let's imagine that I'm interested in getting some updates on the mortgage products I might eventually want to purchase. I know that interest rates move around a lot. The quote wasn't quite to my liking. I'm not ready to dive in just yet, but I might like to revisit when the rates are right for me. So let's subscribe. I'm going to be a first-time buyer. And that's us signed up. So let's look at the FlowXO, at the flow that powered that and how it was handled. Over here in the flow dashboard again, we have our subscribe flow. You can see here we're triggering on that subscribe keyword being given. Next, we ask a question, what would you like to subscribe to? The difference here is that we're given a choice rather than text-based, so we give the 4 choices as option buttons. Next in this flow, we're going to use the attributes service. Attributes can act like a counter, how many times somebody visited, or a flag, somebody said a specific word. It's a simple key value store in the background. It's important to note that these attributes, specific to each customer, based on the response path, are available in the trigger of every flow. That's going to be important in a few minutes. First of all, just to note that we set a product, an attribute of type product here, and the product value is the answer to the question, which product are you interested in? So let's go and use that information. You can see here in the broadcast flow, it's here that I'm actually sending out my marketing messages. It's important to note that this service, the broadcast service, is going to send to absolutely everybody that has the bot installed by default. Of course, that's great. One trigger like an email, a webhook, or an RSS feed item being received, and all of our users and customers get the content. We do, however, need to make sure we make good use of FlowXO filters in order to segregate our marketing and direct messages to relevant customers. You can see here that I'm using both the information I'm going to get from my trigger. We're going to use a webhook, and we're looking to make sure that it's first-time buyer. And we're also looking for a value of our attribute as being first-time buyer as well. So in both of those circumstances, both the trigger that we send and the attribute must both equal first-time buyer for our message to actually be sent to a user. I'm going to use a webhook here to trigger this flow. Don't worry if you haven't used those before. I'm using it here to demonstrate how easy it is to get information into and out of FlowXO. From any web-connected app, you can trigger a workflow and use the data that is sent from that app in your flow and therefore in conversation with customers. You can also webhook out too. Let's do that right now. I'm just going to put the URL for the webhook here. You can see we've got a success status. And over in Messenger, I'm subscribed to first time buyer updates. The information I sent was about first time buyer offers, and you can see here I've got a lovely little advert posted directly through as a customer. Just a note here, if I go to options and then to logs, you can see that all of these completed successfully actions are where we actually posted to a user who has this bot installed, but the ones that are filtered out are people that didn't meet the criteria. So for instance, they've expressed interest in a different product and they'd trigger if we sent details of a different product in the right circumstance. You'll be glad to know that I could also have triggered this flow using an email or by consuming an existing RSS feed. You might already have one of those on your site. Even better, you guessed it, there's already a template for that. So it's just a few clicks to get that in place. Let's do it now. I'll select newsfeed, and automatically this flow is looking at the BBC News, the British Broadcasting Corporation website for world news. So we'll turn this on, and by the end of this presentation, I'm sure we'll see some RSS feed items consumed and posted through to our Messenger channel. Okay, just a final review here and some finishing touches. First, here's the small talk flow. You can see here that in the trigger I've captured lots of possible words and phrases. You'll recognize some of these from when we looked at the bot right at the beginning of this presentation. So we're capturing the basic hello, hi, and also things like tell me a joke. You can see here that I've grouped these words or phrases. That's important because when it comes to filtering further down the flow, I can filter based on the group rather than just on an individual word. So for instance, in our next task here where we send a message back, we're only going to respond in this specific way if we know it's a greeting that we received in the trigger. Over in the welcome and help flow, a little bit of a different here to kick us off. We have a catch-all rather than a specific trigger at the beginning. So what's happening here is that I'm looking out for anything that's said to the bot that doesn't match another trigger that we already have in place. So I know that the bot will respond under any circumstance, either when we understand what's being said to us because we have a specific flow and a specific trigger in place, or here in this case when we don't understand what's being said to us. Next in this flow, we're going to use the code service. The code service is a really powerful way to do, well, whatever it is you want, really. It can make requests to other apps or services that FlowXO doesn't support. It can perform custom manipulation or calculations on data, and it can use the output in conversation with the customer. We've used a really simple example here. We're just parsing out the person's first name from the full name that Facebook gives to us, but the options are limitless. If you want to interact with your CRM, your calling or dialer system, or any other web-connected app, you can do it with this service. Be sure to talk to us about that service to see how you can get the best out of it, because there's an awful lot of power there. Very final thing to look at. Over here in my bot, if I click edit, I can add a persistent menu here. So for instance, I could always make sure that I'm able to offer the menu by including it in the persistent menu there. And over in my bot, menu will appear there so that I can always give an option to route to the menu. And you can include up to 10 options in there, which will probably be triggers to your flows. Okay, as promised, let's go over now and take a look at launching this bot elsewhere, not just on Facebook Messenger. Again, the point I want to stress here is that the bot is going to be platform agnostic. You're going to build it once, build that the logic out in those flows once, and it's going to be present everywhere. First of all, let's just have a look at how we create a widget. You can see here just by clicking Get Code, I'm giving a little snippet. Now you just need to give that to your web developer, or if you maintain your website yourself, just insert it before the closing body tag on your website, and this will appear on your own website. By clicking, you'll be able to launch directly into Messenger from your site to be able to get the bot talking to your customers. A little bit more exciting perhaps, I can also create a fully embedded messenger right inside my website by choosing the web messenger. You can see that this time there's going to be slightly more code, but it's exactly the same principle. I just need to take this snippet and insert it before the closing body tag on my website, and I'll get this functionality here. This time when I click, I'll launch a fully fledged web messenger. And it's going to do all the things that we've programmed in and we've looked at previously. So you're going to be completely ubiquitous. You'll get this form out, this conversational form, absolutely everywhere that you want it present, on your website, on Messenger, on Telegram, or embedded anywhere else that you have some HTML like a landing page. So you can see here we have the basis of a really good, well-distributed bot. We have some marketing functions in place with the broadcast service. We're able to point out options to brand new customers right away, and can respond when we don't understand a particular message with some small talk. We've also looked at data collection through that conversational form, and configuring human interaction directly through the bot with a messaging service. Both of those are very powerful customer service and sales tools. So this is it, crunch time. I hope you've seen how easy it is to get started, and you have some of your own ideas about what you'll build next. Here's what pricing looks like. For only $19 a month, you can build 15 bots or flows and accommodate 5,000 interactions. There's no contract or tie-in period, and you can downgrade to a free plan at any time. Because you have been kind enough to watch today, I'd like to sweeten the deal a little bit. First of all, here's some links to the flows that aren't based on templates that we've looked at today. So the conversational form and the Google Sheet where we posted the data to. You can install those just with one click there. To get everything in place we've looked at, you will need more than the 5 flows that are available in the free edition. So I'll also give you your first month free if you sign up in the next 24 hours. You just have to use the coupon code Skype002. Some extra special news this week. The reason the code is called Skype, if you use that coupon right now, I'll also throw in a 15-minute Skype call within the next few days to really get you up and running with your bot. I'm not going to be offering that very often, but I'm hoping to get some really great bots launched by the end of this first quarter in 2017. With no time period, that means you can completely de-risk your own bot launch. Don't forget this video will be online for a short while later, so you can get those links if you need them. Finally, just a few resources to be aware of. There are extensive help docs over at support.flowxo.com. We have a lively community at community.flowxo.com. So other customers are discussing use cases there. It's a great place to share ideas. And we have a constructive blog at medium.com/flowxo. We just posted Get Started with FlowXO a couple of days ago. It's a great place to start. After this webcast, it covers a lot of the same content. Thanks for watching, everyone. I've really enjoyed building that out with you today. Please get signed up. Tell me more about your use case. I'm going to be on live chat now, and I'd be delighted to help you get started building your own bot out. I'm going to be running this session over the next couple of weeks, so feel free to come and watch again if you like. The core content won't change, but if you have a specific case, perhaps I can build that into the session. Make sure to hit subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're going to have some exciting announcements coming up which will demonstrate good video content. So do get in touch. I'd love to hear from you. Remember that if you use the coupon today, we can get a 15-minute call booked in to discuss your bot and really get you started. See you all soon.